So hey guys, today we're filming our cooking segment at the beautiful ranch. I'm going to share my go-to breakfast with you, the one that I go to when I have guests up here. It's very simple, it's very delicious, and it happens to be quite healthy. So it is my version of a frittata, and I always use leftover vegetables, and I've always got some sort of form of leftover veggies, salad ingredients in the fridge. And last night I happened to make roasted vegetables. So I have some leftover roasted broccoli, some roasted tomatoes, and some roast potatoes. And so I'm going to use those. But really, you can use any vegetables that you have. You can either just quickly fry them up in the frying pan if they're not cooked, or any leftovers from the night before. I've used carrots before, mushrooms, spinach. They're all great in this particular recipe. So the first thing I'm going to do is throw my veggies in a pan with some olive oil. So let's get the burner heated up here. And there we go. Get my pan nice and hot. And I put in about a tablespoon of olive oil. My vegetables were roasted in olive oil and with salt and pepper last night. So I'm going to go easy on the seasoning. I'm going to season just a little bit, but because they've already had a fairly good seasoning, I'm just going to watch that. And again, because they're cooked, all I'm doing is mixing them in the pan and warming them through a little bit before I add my egg. So when we're talking quantities for this dish, I just sort of go on feel, but and based on what I have in the fridge too. It all depends on what you have. But really what you want is to just have the base of your pan fairly well covered with vegetables. And that's all you need. So I've got about half a cup to a cup of each here. It just happens to be the quantity that we're left over. So we're nicely mixed and sizzling away. And I'm going to turn my heat down to medium-low for now. So let's talk about the egg mixture. My frittata is very different to most recipes that you're going to find because I don't use cream or milk. And I find that it doesn't compromise the taste, so I figure why bother? I'm just going to use 1 egg per person. This happens to be a frittata that's going to serve 4 very generous portions. And then I add egg whites. And that's it. So now in terms of quantity, you know, I have to say that I've never really measured this out because this is just my own recipe that I throw together. But let's see, I'm going to go on feel and then I'll let you know how much I use. I'm going to start with a cup and a half of egg whites, and I'm going to mix that and see how I go. Most frittata recipes, they use 8 eggs. So what you want to do is make it up to more or less the quantity that 8 eggs would be. Using just 1 egg per person and the balance with healthy, protein-rich egg whites. I'm going to mix it up just to get it a little bit frothy. Now I'm going to put it in with my vegetables. I'm going to season my veggies just a little bit. Easy on the salt. Nice, yummy, fresh black pepper. Okay. In goes my egg. Just gonna double check my quantity there. I would say that's enough. Okay. So now what I do is on medium-low heat is I just let it set a little bit and then I move everything around the pan so that the parts that are cooking on the bottom are moved to the top and everything will eventually get a little bit set. When it's mostly set, we're going to cover it in beautiful aged cheddar cheese and put it under the broiler. So then we'll have a delicious dish to eat. So this is what you want your frittata to look like when you put the cheese on top. It is mostly set, but the top is still a little bit runny because that's going to finish off in the oven. So now I'm going to sprinkle it with 5-year-old cheddar cheese. It's going to give it incredible intense flavor. And again, difficult for me to say about quantities because I just kind of cover the top. So what was that? That was, I think, about a cup of grated cheddar. And what the heck, let's finish it. It's too good to waste. So this is when you put it under the broiler and you finish it off there. And all you're doing is melting the cheese, making it nice and bubbly, maybe a little bit brown on top, and then it is done. So depending on the heat of your broiler, that's going to tell you how long you're going to need. So watch it very carefully, because sometimes you only need a minute or so, and you don't want to burn it. So my frittata's been under the broiler for 3 to 4 minutes, and it's just set up beautifully, and the cheese is bubbling and browning just slightly. Out it comes, there it is, bubbly and delicious. And what I'm going to do now is something that you must remember to do if you make this recipe. Your pan is going to come out and the handle is going to be viciously hot, and people are going to touch it by mistake, I know, because it's happened so many times before. So put something, you can actually get special covers for these. I don't have one of those here at the ranch, so I'm going to use my silicone oven mitt. Put it on there just to avoid any burnt hands. All right. So now I'm ready to serve. Look at that, it's beautifully set up. And it's very quiche-like, but without the crust, really, and without the cream. Now, it would be great to use a non-stick pan so that you don't have to worry about your wedges of frittata getting stuck. But non-stick pans are not very safe at very high heat. So because I put this under 500-degree broiler, I'd rather not use a non-stick pan. So I'll just deal with it, and if you get stuck, that's okay. Great. So, see if I can get a perfect wedge out of this. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting these on a little bed of fresh arugula with some little olive oil drizzled on top. And of course you will serve a side of toast or a baguette, because you don't want your guests to unwittingly be put on a low-carb diet. Okay, there it is. Now I'm going to serve this up. Okay guys, so there we have my healthy, delicious take on a simple frittata. It's a delicious thing. I'll see you next time. Bye.